3, 2. Peanut butter chocolate, great when separate, but when they combine, they make the morning time epic.
Morning time epic. Morning time epic.
Let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Coworkers podcast. I'm the peanut butter to this equation, Josh.
And I'm Regan.
The chocolate.
The chocolate. What the fuck was that?
What do you mean? That was like one of the greatest commercials of my
Fucking
childhood.
peanut butter chocolate flavor, dude.
Dude, Reese's, the cereal and subsequently the candy, both S tier. Would you
for
agree?
real. Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
100%.
I'm glad we were on the same page on that. Anyways, moving forward, what the hell are we talking about today?
I don't know. Wait, did you even say welcome back?
I did.
Oh.
Did you miss it?
Yeah, I missed it.
This isn't getting cut, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure.
This is just off the cuff.
I'm sure.
Looking at our itinerary today, Marvel dropped the Shang-Chi trailer.
Yeah, like with no announcement, no nothing, they just dropped it, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice surprise that morning.
Cause the night before I was on the Marvel Studios spoiler subreddit, and so someone was like, "Oh, there's gonna be a trailer." And you're like, it's probably fake. He's probably like saying this bullshit. And then I woke up.
Lo and behold,
to my surprise, fucking
Right
Shang-Chi
there.
trailer.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit was sick, bro.
It was really cool. You know what the craziest thing about it is that as I was watching it, the one thing that I thought was, I forgot that this was a Marvel movie.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that's the best compliment that I can give it, is that like it didn't remind me of like anything else.
Mhm.
And it seems to be like more rooted in inspiration from old Bruce Lee movies and stuff like that,
like old martial arts movies.
old martial arts movies.
Cause
they got
like
the Wire
Mhm.
action and stuff
from
like that.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And
Yep,
shit.
Hero.
Mhm.
The oldies.
Which was sick, and you know what's cool about it is the cinematographer.
Mhm.
I forgot his name, but he was a cinematographer. The cinematographer
Okay.
for The Matrix
Oh, really?
and Spider-Man 2.
Ooh.
And so I don't know. I think it was pretty sick.
We're getting the Raimi verse back together.
Oh Jesus! But like a lot of the shots that they chose for the for the trailer were pretty cool. I like.
Yeah.
Very bright.
I agree also.
Very wide.
Mhm.
You know, it doesn't
Very
have
colorful.
that like. At least for now, we haven't seen the movie, but like from what we see, what I saw in the trailer, there wasn't that like quick cut editing and shaky cam, which
found in other like action movies
which
and whatnot.
I honestly despise.
Mhm.
So
It needs to
I'm
be
glad there's that.
used correctly, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It has a time and place, as a purpose, but a lot of times filmmakers tend to use shaky cam and hand cam footage to hide inexperience in filming fight scenes.
Yeah.
I have a question about the casting.
What's up?
How do you feel about Awkwafina? Because I only bring it up because at work today, Cindy was asking me my thoughts on Awkwafina, like as like an actress and stuff like that, and like just like a general like how I felt about her. And I was like, oh yeah, she's cool. Like I would say that the best thing that I've seen her in is The Farewell.
Yeah.
Because she's usually typecasted as like a comedic role, like bring the laughs or something.
Yeah.
And to have her be in a dramatic role, that's something that I always enjoy seeing with my actors and actresses, to be played against type.
Mhm.
And yeah, other than that, I just thought she was okay. And then Cindy like went on this whole tirade about how she was like, oh my god, I hate seeing Awkwafina everywhere, like I'm tired of her.
Why?
I was like, what the heck? I thought it was so funny.
I will say though, she was really good in Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh yeah, I still have to watch that.
As the dragon, I thought she was fine. She was great. She was having fun. I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think the cast is great. We got Simu Liu, who I think everyone just like easily fell in love with.
Didn't he get canceled for something?
Yeah, but it was like.
What was it for? I don't even know.
It's because he's doing a film with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah, and then Mark Wahlberg being
he committed a hate crime.
Committing a hate crime. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. But that was that whole thing, because that was the like the height of like all the attacks on like Asians.
Yeah.
So that
Asian hate
that
and
can-
whatnot.
But yeah, and it's like, yeah, you know, I think for the most part he's a very likable like guy, like Simu Liu.
Simu Liu? Okay, I was about to say. I
Yeah.
was like, Mark Wahlberg.
No, fuck no, hell no. No,
Like, come
but-
on, you watched Transformers,
Oh jeez.
The Last
Yep,
Night,
yep.
and Age of Extinction.
I think I
You're
found a
gonna tell me-
transformer.
This is gonna be big for me, honey. If I fix up this transformer, like, it'll send you to college.
Oh my god. But yeah, it's no, like I think Simu Liu, like he's a very likable guy. And honestly, like I think he's doing all the stunts. Most of the stunts himself.
ask that actually. If
From-
he was
from-
gonna do
yeah,
all his own stunts.
From what it looks in the trailer, it looks like he's doing a lot of the stunts himself. So that's cool.
Mhm, most
that-
definitely.
I always appreciate that when actors are willing to do like fight scenes.
Yeah,
and
to learn
stunts
and
for
like do it themselves and to
Yeah.
actually like get down and dirty. Speaking of which, there was like a picture going around of Natalie Portman on the set of the next Thor movie, and
Saw
she's
that.
ripped.
She looked.
You saw
fucking
that?
buff
Like
as
she was
fuck.
built.
Yeah.
I was like, God
I was like,
damn.
I'm like, she get into it. But yeah.
Is
and-
this what Anakin saw in her?
Oh my god, Jesus.
I was like, sheesh.
But yeah, and then who else is on there? Tony Leung.
Oh,
my-
yeah. Uh-huh.
Tony Leung, dude, legendary, like Hong Kong Chinese actor.
Yep.
He's best known for like In the Mood for Love and Chungking Express from Wong
Mhm.
Kar Wai. This is his first time doing American film, and it's in
Really?
Marvel, which is insane. Like I honestly
Yeah,
think it's
uh-huh.
insane. So
You
that's great.
know, that's what the power of these very large-scale blockbuster movies is, to bring these formerly only known to be like small-time actors and actresses into the limelight.
Yeah.
You know, giving them the love that they deserve, which I always applaud them for. I'm really glad
Yeah.
for that.
Because it's like I think Marvel's gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I think we've been able to like, you know, pick some good actors from Hollywood in the U.S. Now let's go out and branch out. Because apparently, for like the Miss Marvel show coming out later this year,
Yeah.
they've hired some actors from like Pakistan or something,
Oh yeah,
like
because,
really like popular actors
mhm.
from there. So
Kamala Harris and stuff like that. Like that's the character, right?
Kamala Khan,
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Harris is our vice president.
Holy shit.
Kamala Khan, that's Miss Marvel. But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, the same vein, right? Kamala. Right?
Moving on.
Okay.
That was awful of me.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, fun fact: did you know that our coworker Kevin,
Yeah.
his cousin, worked on the stunt team for Shang-Chi?
Yeah, I think I remember him going crazy, like telling us about that.
Yeah.
Like he was working with
Simu Liu.
Simu Liu on training him
Mm-hmm.
to be up to snuff for all the stunts and whatnot, and that's pretty fucking awesome. We know a celebrity.
Yeah, and I follow them on Instagram,
Really?
and he like screenshotted this one scene. You know the guy with the mask,
Yeah.
like the white kabuki looking mask type
Yeah.
thing. Apparently, or he didn't confirm it, but what I'm thinking is he was the stunt actor in that for that thing for that costume for that suit.
Oh.
So if that was him, dude, props, because that's fucking sick. Because a lot of the choreography is really cool.
We're gonna stay and watch all the credits just to see
probably just to see that
Kevin's
name,
cousin's
just
name,
to see that name, yeah.
and to call it out, be like, we know him
Yeah.
by extension.
But going back to what you said about like it not looking like a Marvel movie, like
Or like the general feel of
Mhm.
it. There's something about like the way it looks, a little bit of like the cinematography, and just the way it was like presented. I was like, this doesn't feel like a conventional Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like they're going a bit out of the box for this
Yeah,
one,
for
and I
sure.
like that.
yeah, and I hope as time goes on, like Marvel's like able to do that more with
Mhm.
like their shows or
Yeah,
like
mhm.
or like their movies, is like break from this mold of like what a superhero movie should be,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so honestly, I'm excited. Like I honestly wasn't excited that much for Shang-Chi because but I mean like I'm a Marvel fan, right? I'm gonna see it either way, but it wasn't like at the top of my list, right?
Yeah, like that wasn't a character that you were like absolutely begging for like a widescreen.
But don't get me wrong,
interpretation,
seeing
you know?
like an Asian superhero
Yeah.
for a big company like this, it's fucking
That's
sick.
great.
That's
Uh-huh.
fucking sick. But I think now Shang-Chi easily just moved up to like the most anticipated like Marvel movie for me.
Most definitely. What else is even coming out this year? Black Widow?
Eternals, Spider-Man
Oh,
3,
Eternals.
yeah, Black Widow, the Hawkeye show, the Miss Marvel show, the What If show,
Well, it turns out that
the Loki show.
Loki wasn't the last thing, and Shang-Chi wasn't the second to
Nope.
last thing to come out this year,
Yeah.
by my approximation.
Hellish shit's
Apparently,
coming
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah.
On the topic of Marvel stuff, actually,
Okay.
would you like to talk about the past Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode a little bit? I would say that I'm pleasantly surprised with how much I feel like the show has ramped up in terms of my interest.
Mhm.
Because originally going in, I was like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, what could possibly like happen? Like,
Yeah.
I was like this just might be a serviceable like in between type of project, just to get us up to speed for like the next phase, for the
Mhm.
next set of movies, to get everybody where they needed to be on the timeline. Like, we needed Falcon to take up the mantle,
Mhm.
and this is gonna serve as that show. And for the most part, it is. But unlike WandaVision, this doesn't have the same like immediate hook. Like,
Yeah.
for me, it was the whole like spoofing of old TV generational shows and whatnot, and it playing a pretty big part in Wanda's character.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about episode, I guess it was the last episode, that's 5.
Wait, what are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about like when my interest in the show like
Oh,
completely
okay, gotcha,
started
gotcha.
to step up.
Right.
And I would say it wasn't until John Walker did the thing with the shield
Mm-hmm.
that I was like, dang, like everybody hates this dude. He's like America's most hated man right now.
Yeah.
But my God, do I think he's like a fascinating, like interesting character out of like this whole bundle.
Yo,
And I'm really happy with how it's turning
no,
out.
honestly, Wyatt Russell is doing such a great job playing that character. Like,
Yeah.
he is such a good actor. And it
Mhm.
just sucks that people are fucking hating on Wyatt Russell rather than hating on John Walker.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and like all that stuff, like there was like the whole like death threat, like Bonanza, like
Yeah.
people sending him death threats
Yeah, it's
for
fucking dumb.
because they cannot separate fact from fiction. It's
Yeah.
pretty wild. But I mean, for the sole purpose of showcasing like essentially like a foil for Captain America, like a flip side
Mhm.
of like it's essentially like a what if.
Yeah.
And watching that transpire, I find really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
And he's probably the most interesting part of the show to me, other than like the last episode and like a little bit of like Zemo and whatnot, like seeing him return wearing that mask, wearing that fucking sock on his face. Like, I thought
The fucking beanie.
yeah, that goddamn beanie, bro. You know what that reminds me of? You know that character from Fat Albert, the one that wears a beanie over his face and there's just like eyes like cut out. He's played by Marcus Houston in the Fat Albert movie.
Man, no, I've never seen
You don't
it.
know this?
I've
Oh
never
my
seen
god,
it.
I'm gonna show you a picture, but that's what Zemo looks like.
Jesus. But I mean,
yeah.
no, I agree. It's like with Falcon and Winter Soldier, like obviously I'm gonna watch it, right? But it wasn't something that I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be like game changing or whatever, right? Or like, like
Yeah.
it's not gonna hook me like you said, like WandaVision did.
Mm-hmm.
So I initially thought that, oh, this is just gonna be, it's gonna be this buddy cop action thriller, just like Winter Soldier was, just like Civil War
Mhm.
was. And then by like episode like 2, just by episode 2, I was like, oh shit, this is going in a completely different direction.
Yeah, most
'Cause
definitely.
I would say for me, the most interesting character, and I think I don't know if he's my favorite thus far, but definitely the most interesting that captivated me was Isaiah Bradley,
Oh yeah,
played by
yeah,
Carl Lumley. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
Like when when that ball dropped, because like I knew about his character in the comics, but I didn't,
Know how they were going to like integrate him into the story.
Yeah, and seeing him portray a disgruntled war veteran, a disgruntled black war veteran
Mm-hmm.
who was treated like absolute shit,
Yeah.
What
What is that called? Like erasure? Like
yeah,
what
erasure,
they
erasure, yeah.
what they essentially did to him.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. And seeing Sam like understand, like, holy shit, like there was this guy after Steve, like before Bucky or whatever, and
But
And-
he's thrown under the rug because he's thought
Exactly.
of that being like unimportant, you know?
Yeah.
He's just a test subject. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then that whole like basically almost his origin story in episode 5,
yeah.
I thought was great.
And then in the last episode, he had that line when he's talking to Falcon, where he's like, "They'll never make a black man Captain America," or
Yeah.
something like that. I was like, "Damn." And I was like, "That is true." They got just like this like regular old schmuck like white boy to be like Captain America. Like it's touching on like the idea of like privilege and like just being handed things just over something that you can't
Yeah.
control.
And
It's interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and one thing about that too is his story of what he did is exactly like Steve's story, like what Steve did in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Because Steve went to go save Bucky and that whole battalion, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what Isaiah did. But Steve got awarded, he got paraded, he got promoted, right? He got to work with the generals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And fight.
He became the poster boy for America.
Yeah, exactly.
But what did Isaiah Bradley get?
Isaiah Bradley got swept under the
Experiments.
rug. He got arrested for 30 years, experimented on, and treated like absolute dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know,
When he's cut from the same cloth as
Exactly.
Captain America.
exactly.
And then
And-
there's the introduction of like John Walker and just like this total outlier, but he's still being paraded as like, oh my god, like he's gonna be like a savior and whatnot. He's gonna take up this mantle and do everybody a good service. And then they just show like how this power like can corrupt and like get to someone's head. That scene where like Battlestar like gets owned and then John Walker chases down the guy and just like exudes like this righteous justice to just like in his own mind is like, this is justice, like I
Yeah.
am going to kill you in front of all these people who are recording me
Yeah,
and not give a shit.
yeah, and I forgot what I was watching, but there was this good video, like really good like video that I was watching where it's like they said that John Walker thinks what makes Captain America is the shield.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what makes Captain America is your character
Yeah.
and who you are and what you stand for.
And
Right.
it's also the fact that like was it you or I feel like someone I talked to recently was talking about how whenever Steve would talk about himself, like he wouldn't refer to himself as like Steve Rogers, Captain America, like how John Walker always introduces himself. Like he needs to make people like know in the room that like he is Captain America.
Yeah,
but it's the fact that Steve Rogers' character and what he stands for just represented Captain America. He's
Yeah.
just Steve. Like
Yeah.
everybody knew him as a very like friendly face and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And like people, like for the most part, they respected Steve,
Mm-hmm.
and like because of what he did and what he sacrificed and like who he is, right? But John Walker, he demands respect
Yeah.
when
Mhm.
no one knows who the fuck
He thinks
is.
he deserves it only
Yeah.
because he has the shield, he's got the title,
Yeah.
and like that's it. It's like that's what Captain America is. It's this damn shield.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
no, it's the fact that he has to do good
Yeah.
and do what's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just what he lacks.
Mhm.
Even though it's like all these events happening to him, like completely parallel, like same thing like you said, with Steve Rogers. He's given like the shield, like the mantle, but like when he takes the serum, his friend dies, and then it's just like, okay, now we're at this diverging path. If Steve Rogers is the good path,
Mhm.
like his friend dies, and then like Steve Rogers goes on to be a hero. So what would happen if like we
Yeah.
gave the serum to this
Well-
unhinged motherfucker?
Well, also that I think the show. I wouldn't say the show did a terrible job, but I just wish that they made it more like explicit that John suffered from like PTSD, and John had some anger issues, right? Because
Mhm.
they kind of hinted at it,
Yeah.
but they didn't necessarily like dive into it as much as I wanted them to.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like almost a callback to the first Captain America movie, where he said, where the doctor Stanley Tucci, he
Yep.
says he's like, the serum makes like a good man better,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's not about strength, it's not about how you fight, it's about your character.
Yeah.
That makes you a super soldier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that just isn't the case for John Walker because he's just whatever.
Mm-hmm. I feel like what you're saying about like kind of expanding on John Walker's backstory to like hint at that he has like these like troubling issues about him. I think the fact that a lot of that is shrouded in mystery and the fact that they just gave it to some random like war veteran is commentary on I don't know how much this is going to rustle a bird's nest or a bumblebee nest or whatever kind of nest that we're sitting in, but I think it's a commentary on white privilege and like the fact that like, oh yeah, it's like he looks the part, and like we're gonna give him like a slap on the wrist for like all this stuff, like all that history, like it doesn't matter. It's about what he's gonna do now and in the future, and like any other candidate is like thrown under the rug. It's like he just looks the part. Yeah. And because of that, you know.
And it goes back to like episode 1 when Sam gave the shield to the Smithsonian or whatever. Yeah. And the guy was like, "Thanks, Sam. You did the right thing." I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, what do you mean did the right thing? Steve like gave his blessings to like carry on the mantle.
Yeah, exactly.
Which brings us to the end of episode 6. Falcon now has been training like a motherfucker. Yeah. Tossing that shield around, doing flips and everything.
Fucking Rocky Balboa montage.
And then he gets the suit, but they don't show it yet.
We don't see it yet. Yeah.
He gets it from what's the name of that group from Wakanda?
Well, he got it from Wakanda. Yeah. As a whole, but like the Dora Milaje. They thing. Yeah.
So I'm actually pretty excited to see how this concludes, because compared to the last thing I brought up, like WandaVision, my interest in that show, it like peaked at around like 5, and then it kind of just like slowly went down because it started to just become, in my mind, just like the Marvel stuff that is necessary to like set up the next movies, the next phase. Definitely. That's when it like waned in interest. This is like an actual like gradual climb in interest, and by the end of the show, I am now at my most interested. Yeah. So I really like commend like the progression of events, the plot and whatnot. Yeah. It's fairly interesting so far.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited too, because like not just a Marvel fan, but like just how this show captivated me, and like the fact that the writer Malcolm Spellman, the director Kyrie Skoglund, and all the other writers involved, like they didn't sugarcoat anything. Yeah, like they knew what it meant to have a black man be Captain America, right? And so they went there full force, and I commend them for that. They didn't sugarcoat anything. They didn't tip their toes around or whatever.
Yeah, walk on eggshells, you know.
They went there, and I think they pulled it off. It was great. He's going to sneeze. Bless you. You good?
Another one coming?
Uh-oh.
All right, I'm good. So,
awesome. But yeah, for the most part, I'm excited. The finale is this week.
Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of days.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. Who's Power Broker? Who is the Power Broker?
Oh, that is true. Power Broker, hardly know her.
Uh-oh. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm very satisfied with the show so far, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do for the finale.
So what are your thoughts about this Loki show and like how it's shaping up, like what it's looking like it's going to embody?
Oh, boy. So apparently Loki is going to... He's gonna sneeze. No, he's not gonna sneeze. Okay. So apparently Loki is gonna tie in with Doctor Strange too. Apparently.
Is Tom Hiddleston confirmed to appear as Loki in?
He's rumored. To go.
Okay then.
But
you know who is gonna show up in that movie? Bruce Campbell.
Oh no.
That is what I'm hyped for.
He's gonna play Ash.
He's gonna look at the camera and be like, groovy.
He's gonna have those fucking Sam Raimi like close up with the eyes and shit.
Yeah, the tracking shot of like going through like the portals. I anticipate a shot like that. It's gonna be so tight.
But yeah, so Loki's interesting because he is basically this like guy out of time, literally out of time. He's not in his like regular universe.
In his timeline, yeah. He like fucked with everything.
Yeah. And so now he's like traveling what I assume is different times across the Marvel universe. And I guess this is going to be his whole arc of being anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like an arc of redemption, his redemption song in a way.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know what to think of it, man. It looks like weird, and weird in a good way. Like weird where it's like out there in terms of like the science fiction realm and like how they're going to use time travel.
Yeah.
Cuz the whole thing where it looks like a hotel, right? Like you know what
kind of. Yeah, I know what you're referring to, like where Owen Wilson is stationed.
Yeah. So his whole character, it's part of this thing called the Time Variance Authority.
Yeah,
And what
the
they
time
do,
police.
yeah, the time police. They basically just watch time and how.
Like those meatball guys from Rick and Morty.
I will mess with time. I will mess with time.
Dude, why isn't Key and Peele in this show? That would be so
Yo, chill.
funny.
But yeah, so I guess the whole thing is just him trying to work with the TVA to fix the timelines. At least I assume
Yeah.
so.
Uh-huh.
If I'm being honest, not my most anticipated show, but obviously I'm gonna watch it. I'm a Marvel fan, but it looks cool for the most part in
Yeah.
terms of like what they're gonna do with multiverse, because it looks like they're gonna deal with the multiverse heavily, right? Like that and Doctor Strange too. They're gonna deal with the multiverse, so I'm just excited to see what's to come. But what do you think?
I mostly agree with the sentiments that you presented. Like, I watched the trailer and I saw Owen Wilson. I was instantly intrigued. I
Wow.
wanted him to say "wow." Maybe he'll say it a few times throughout the show.
Wow.
But yeah, it's more so like let's just go in there blind with only this
Mhm.
trailer like in mind, and then just see where it goes, because maybe the show will surprise me, and I'll enjoy it more so than I originally anticipated. And for the most part, I agree with like the things that you were saying about like the new ideas that it's going to introduce into the Marvel universe, like the multiverse stuff, exploring all that jazz, because it's going to get into the really interesting magical stuff like in the future of this phase.
Yeah. So yeah, that's coming out June. So we're not getting any Marvel content in May. So yeah.
We could make our own Marvel content.
Okay.
You know how? We could just watch the Raimi trilogy.
Oh man. Sure.
Spider-Man
But,
2, bro.
Yeah. But what is it? Black Widow. Black Widow's coming out
Oh, yeah.
in July.
That is coming out.
What are we doing, Josh? Are we renting a theater for ourselves?
Are we going to rent a movie theater out for that movie, or are we going to rent it for Fast 9? Because they're going to go to space, bro. We've been anticipating this for years.
Fast 9 or No Time to Die? Or The Green Knight?
Is that even a question? Is that even like
Or The French
debate?
Dispatch?
Why not all of them?
Just back to back?
Yeah, dude. It's like,
fuck.
can we, AMC, can we like clear out this single auditorium for the rest of the year?
Just play
Just
all
us?
your movies. Just
Yeah.
play all your movies in there.
That would be great. That
That's
would
gonna
be
be
great.
insane. Yeah, I think, if I'm being honest, I think Black Widow might be the first movie I see in theaters again. That's whether or not what happens in COVID.
Yeah, I
Right?
feel it.
Hopefully, it gets a little better. Who knows? Right?
Mhm.
We'll have to see. And obviously, I'm gonna be safe about it. So
Oh, speaking of the movie theater, there is this anime movie out that a lot of people at work are anticipating to watch. It's called Demon Slayer, and
heard
it's
about
a
that.
sequel to a show that already aired,
Mhm.
and it's a show that's pretty good. Like for the most part, it's a pretty basic like action show, but it's got some pretty good characters. It's got a really nice art style, at least to me. And I think it's very enjoyable and like anybody could watch.
Mhm.
And we are actually, Kevin and I have been looking to see if that is a movie that we could rent out a theater for. Because if it is, we're gonna get a lot of people from work to maybe join in. And
I'm down. Let me catch up.
I'm
on
down to pay for a brunt of it. Kevin was down to pay for a brunt of it, and KJ was too. So if we're able to secure a theater, like we're hopefully that'll be our first endeavor back into the theater.
Oh man, nice. Well, I will. If that is the case, I will watch the entire series.
It's 24 episodes.
It's actually doable. Is there like any fat I need to trim off?
Oh no, it's all content pretty much.
Okay.
Can't say that there's really a filler. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the best thing about the movie is that it's canon. It's the actual like natural progression. It's just that apparently in the manga, like this part, it's called the train arc, and it's like the whole movie's gonna take place on like this train like infested with like demons and stuff like that. It's just gonna be hype as fuck apparently.
Damn. So like Train to Busan.
But with demons.
Oh. Okay. I'll check it out. Where is it on? Funimation.
It's on Crunchyroll.
Hmm.
If you don't have an account, I could always lend you one.
Yeah, Josh, go ahead and
I
just.
think it's on Netflix. I think it's on
Oh,
Netflix
okay.
actually.
I was gonna say, go ahead and just say your password and username for me, like out loud.
Oh yeah. And also, this is my credit card information and the CVC and the last 4 digits of my social for anybody out there. Go buy yourself something pretty. Go play something on the jukebox. You know,
he balling like that.
I'd be balling.
All right.
But yeah, this is kind of a just a random episode. We're just shooting the shit, I guess.
Yeah.
There's not really a structure to this.
But you know what? Overall, I'm excited for the Marvel content coming out.
Yep.
Because in 2020 we got none. Which
That
honestly,
is-
like, I
that's
think
true.
was a good
Uh-huh.
thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have been fatigued. But I'm excited. I'm ready
we
to
need
see
a break. Mhm.
all this new content that's coming out. I want to see this universe expand, and I will watch Demon Slayer. At least I'll try.
Shit.
At least
All
I'll try.
right, yeah.
The semester's rounding up for me, so I gotta focus sometimes. But yeah. What's next, Josh?
What's next? So this Sunday's the Oscars, and I'm supposed to be catching up on movies.
Oscars.
But yesterday I saw a 2020 movie that didn't get nominated for anything. It was actually one of the movies I was most anticipated to watch in theaters. But given our sociological given the status of society and whatnot, I
Mhm.
was not able to see it. So I had to watch it from the comfort of my room.
Mhm.
It is an A24 horror movie
Ooh.
called Saint Maud.
Uh-oh. Is that a scary movie, Josh? I don't like scary movies.
Okay.
I'm a big baby when it comes to scary movies.
So it's an A24 horror movie. So sure, you could watch a trailer and be like, ooh, that's kind of spooky. But there's kind of like a little bit more bubbling under the surface, you know? It's just like, it's like the top layer.
Right.
The top layer of this
Hold on,
7-layer
let-
cake.
I'm gonna let you finish. Hold on. Did Hereditary was Hereditary under A24?
Yes, it was. Okay, so, but this movie is like, it's presented like as a horror movie. It's advertised as a horror movie, but really it's a character drama. It's really sad. It's a really sad character drama about the titular character, Maud, who is a hospice nurse, and she is tasked with taking care of her new patient named Amanda, who suffers from stage 4 lymphoma. And it's like the end of stage 4, so she's like, her like health is declining quickly.
Yeah.
And it's the main conflict is Maud becomes so obsessed with Amanda and the fact that since she's so in tune with God, she believes she's in tune with God,
Mhm.
that she was sent to Amanda to save her soul and to like guide her to heaven, to the afterlife, essentially, to like
Right.
a higher realm and whatnot. And what the movie tackles is loneliness,
Mhm.
madness, and like the religious experience. Like if you're and like extreme like religious extremism is the word that like the words I'm trying to look for,
Mhm.
because like the character of Maud like has this very much embodies like a holier than thou like mentality. It's like because she's so in tune with God, like there's this like funny line in the beginning like where she's like a lot of it is narrated by her through prayer, like her prayers to God and whatnot, and that kind of sets the foundation for like what's happening. And there's a part in the beginning where she's like, dear God, I don't know if you hear me, but I think I could feel you. I'm not sure actually if it's just a stomach ulcer or something, but I have this feeling in my gut that you're here with me. And there's like this like hint of like, could this just be paranormal, or is this an actual like, is she just going crazy?
Mhm.
And there's all this really cool tampering with what is and what isn't real. Like since we see everything presented through Maud's eyes, there's these like psychological scenes of like her like going through like a trip of like revelation and whatnot, but it's like these super elaborate like sequences that take place, and it just makes for a very, very interesting movie. It's pretty short. It's actually only an hour and 24 minutes, and I was gonna say it's an easy watch. It's not an easy watch in terms of time. It is, but this is a movie meant to like watch if you want to feel like sad, because the way it ends too is fucked up.
Really?
And I guess spoilers for the movie, just so I could kind of explain a bit more about what happens. So throughout the whole movie, Maud is trying to save Amanda, like her soul. Not only is she like there to take care of her, but she's like, oh, like I'm gonna guide you to I'm gonna guide you to heaven essentially. And the ironic thing is that since she's in the medical field, and their whole MO is to like save people, you know, so like it's to nurse them back to health.
Right.
It's ironic that she's trying to save someone who is suffering from a disease that is inoperable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's kind of like a hint that like, oh, you can't save this person.
Right.
And she just thinks like, oh yeah, I could do it. Like God told me to do it, so of course I'm gonna do it. And then she goes on this tirade of like getting Amanda to like not interact with anybody, having her rely on solely just Maud. And whenever she feels like she fails God in her duties, she inflicts self-harm.
Yeah, it's like penance almost. Right?
Yeah, like the first infliction is she sears her hand on a stove, like the back of her hand. It doesn't seem like it damages her that much, but then there's a scene later where she's putting bandages back on and she unravels it and it's fucked. It looks so gnarly, and then instead of just like tending to it, she just starts like peeling like more skin. Like she just wants to like suffer because she's like, oh my God, she's like, oh God, like I failed you and whatnot. And it's so weird. And the reason why she keeps on doing this, like she's like pretty much like indoctrinated to like do this. Like she doesn't think any other way, and she's so consumed by this like idea of God and her duties and whatnot that she has completely lost herself. Her name's not even Maud. There's a character introduced, a former coworker of hers, and she refers to her as Katie.
Oh wow.
And she's like, hey Katie, like how have you been? Like I haven't seen you like at work and whatnot, or like I haven't seen you ever since like you had to leave like the job that we used to work at together. And then Maud is just like quiet. She's like, oh, like I've been okay. I've been watching over like this like new woman and whatnot. And then the former coworker leaves this like one nugget of knowledge that just like eats away at you as you're watching the movie. She says, you should know, Katie, that what happened to the last patient, it's not your fault. Because at the beginning of the movie starts with this really, really grisly scene of Maud like sitting in the corner of like a hospital room. It's in this like dirty ass like green lighting. It's so like muddy and like it just looks like disgusting. And it's her sitting in a corner covered in blood, and then it cuts to what she's looking at, and it's a body on like an operating table, and she couldn't save this person. So she had like a change of faith. She became a Christian. She found her only salvation in God, and now she's given this duty. And that's pretty much like the whole like premise of the movie.
Oh wow.
So there's a point in time in the movie where Maud, where she's I'm sorry, just to backtrack a little bit. There's a point in time in the movie where Amanda is having a birthday party for herself, and she invites everybody that Maud is like, oh, you can't see them anymore, or like she tries to get them away because she's trying to prep her one-on-one for like this enlightening experience. She's like, she's so important, like you guys don't understand. So all these people come in, and then they start like dunking on Maud as like, oh, you're such a weirdo, like why do you behave this way? And then Maud like what she does in retaliation, just slap the shit out of Amanda. And like as a hospice nurse, you're not supposed to be, you know, like putting hands on patients and whatnot. So she gets fired from her job. And then during the scene, Amanda and everybody at the party is like, Maud, you're so young. Like, why don't you just loosen up a bit? Why don't you just indulge in life a little bit? So this is the point in the film where Maud strays away from what she perceives to be God's light. And she does like all these things in one night. Like she goes to this bar, she sees a dude in this bar, and just like it cuts to her just giving a hand job to like this dude, and then she's just like so displeased and disgusted by like everything she's doing. She's like, well, this is what it means to be normal. Like I don't want it to happen like this. Like, and then later on that night when she gets home, she's so hammered that she has a revelation, like a religious like awakening, and she's like, oh, I know what I must do now, because God actually like speaks to her, what she perceives to be like God, you know. It's like at first like we don't ever hear God, so we're like, oh, she's just nuts. And then we hear this voice that's speaking in Welsh that's like, oh, it's like, you have tried your hardest, my child, but now is like the final step to your enlightenment. You know what you have to do. And she dons what is essentially like makeshift like robes that she made. It makes her look like be like holy. She's like wearing like a rosary or whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And then she gets this bottle of like I don't know what it is. I think it's like hydrochloric acid or something like that. It's her makeshift holy water. And she takes a visit to Amanda, who's now being cared by another woman. So when that woman leaves, Maud breaks into the house because Amanda's one of those people that keeps like an extra key like under like a rug or like a rock or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And Maud takes the key, goes inside, and like tells Amanda, "It's like, oh, it's like you're at the end of the road." And at this point, Amanda's like in bed with like tubes like in her nose and stuff like that. Like her like face is flushed. She's completely at the end of her rope. And then Maud is like, "Yeah, I'm here to like bring you to the end in like the most holy fashion, and I'm here to save you." And then Amanda's like, "Don't you know all that stuff is fake?
Oh.
Like, don't you like he's not real? Like that." Like I don't know what to tell you, but you're so like wrapped up in this. And Maud is like hysterical at this point. She's like, "What are you talking about? Like, you can't be right. Like, I'm here to save you. God told me himself." And then there's a part earlier in the movie where Maud and Amanda are praying, and whenever Maud like has a prayer, like she feels like God's presence inside of her, and she behaves in a way where she's like having like a climax. Like it's like euphoric, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's a part where Amanda and Maud are praying, and Amanda like joins in and just like acts like she's she's having the same experience as Maud. But then when Maud brings it up again, Amanda's like, "Oh, I only did that because you don't know how dull it is to die, how dull it is to be dying." So like with Maud's like faith like completely shaken to the core, it like cuts to in the same like sequence what is going on in Maud's head, and she now perceives Amanda as like the devil incarnate. Like, how dare you think that like you could like test my fate like this?
Uh-huh.
And then Amanda is just like in this like newly adopted like distorted voices, like, "You're just a weak child like following like this like faithless man. It's like there's actually no one out there." So in retaliation, Maud takes a pair of scissors and stabs the shit out of Amanda. And it cuts to this POV shot from Amanda's perspective of Maud just jamming scissors into her. And then the scene ends with what's actually happening in the real world, which is just Amanda like lying there defenseless, just like covered in blood.
Oh my god.
This scissor just sticking out of her neck, and Maud is like, "Oh, like, I guess this was my duty. You turned out to be like a demon, and I purged you from the world, and now I'm like some type of angel." So that's not the end of the movie. Now we get to the resolution of the movie. With Maud's duties complete, she can now ascend to heaven. So she takes her robes, she goes to the beach, like in front of like all these spectators, so they could bear witness to her greatness. She takes a bottle of acetone, flammable liquid, dumps it on herself, and everybody is looking in like horror. They're like, "No, like, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. Like, that's like really dangerous and stuff like that." People are trying to save her, and the voices slowly get like warbled, like she's not listening to them anymore. And then she lights the lighter in her hand, and then it's another one of those scenarios where it quickly like turns into what's happening in Maud's head, and it shows her like being engulfed in flames, but she like dons like these wings, and like everybody like gets on their knees and starts like praying. They're like, "Oh my god, like she's actually like an angel." And Maud feels like this like euphoria, like, "See, like I finally transformed into like what I've always was meant to be. I'm a savior." And then it hard cuts to what's actually happening in real life, and the movie ends on like this 2-second shot of this charred body. It's Maud just screaming at the top of her lungs, and the movie ends just like that. It's fucked.
Oh my god.
But hey, it's great. I give it like an 8 out of 10. It's really unsettling, but it's it's a Josh type of movie. We've coined this
Josh type of movie.
we've coined this expression when it comes to very weird cinema, very like obtuse and maybe hard to understand, and just movies that are a bit more out there. They're coined as Josh movies because they're definitely like my favorites, and that's Saint Maud. Any thoughts on this movie about what loneliness, what type of craziness, and what the compounding effects of like isolationism, loneliness, and like finding faith through like religion, but in a very extreme manner? Like that's pretty much like what the movie's like talking about. You have any thoughts about what I just explained?
Yeah, I got chills, man. Look, my fucking arm, bro. I got
Oh my
fucking chills.
God. There's a lot of times in the movies, like I was watching it with my headphones, right? Where like I had to like turn it down because like something like grisly was gonna happen. Like it was like a scene of self-harm or something like that. Oh, I forgot to mention another one where there's a point in the movie where she feels like she's failed God again. So she takes
Is it the trailer scene?
with the thumbtacks?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that scene.
Okay.
That
I know.
scene, like
Yeah.
the sound effects like it makes too, like when she jumps into her shoes after like looking at like a cross like on her wall, it makes like this squishing sound and she just starts screaming, and then hard cuts. It hard cuts to her walking around New York, which is where this movie is set, and you could hear like they amplified the sound of like the squishing of flesh, and you could hear her voice. It's like she wants to scream at like the top of her lungs, but she holds it in. Oh, it's so but God, it was a very riveting movie. Like it's crazy. It's a crazy movie. I don't know where it could have been nominated in the Oscars, but maybe the director, her name is Rose Glass. Maybe best director. This is her directorial debut also. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic debut.
My goodness.
So she's on some Ari Aster shit, bro.
Oh my god. Okay. So Josh, you know how you said that there are Josh type of movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. For the most part, I've actually seen them. Right.
Mhm.
I was forced to see fucking Hereditary.
Yeah, weren't you stoned out of your mind too when you watched it?
I hope my
Hey,
mom
happy
doesn't hear.
420, everyone.
I hope my mom doesn't hear that.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say, Regan was, he was drinking a light seltzer.
I was drunk.
He was drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, I was. I was quite inebriated when I watched that movie, and it terrified me.
I remember the reactions you all had when it got to the end of the movie, when like the house is all dark and Annie gets possessed by Pyman, and I told everybody, hey, make sure to look in the corners. And then there's just her just lingering in the shadows, and everybody was like, what the fuck? Oh, it was such a beautiful moment.
Dude,
I
you are
love
fucking
that movie.
chills. And then I saw The Lighthouse, which I actually really like. The Lighthouse. I saw I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which I really liked. I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I saw Midsummer, but that was with like my siblings.
And they're just dick swanging.
Don't fucking remind me. We were all huddled around a laptop just watching. We're like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, some fucking Ari Aster type shit, Robert Eggers type shit. Still haven't seen The Witch.
Oh
which
my God.
you want me to, but
I have it
again,
on Blu-ray. I have it right
I'm
here
good.
sitting with
I'm
me.
good.
It's on Netflix too, I think.
I'm good.
It's got Anya Taylor-Joy in it.
Yeah, I'm a little
What a cinematic darling she is.
spooky dookied out. So yeah,
Ah.
there's that.
So that about wraps up the Saint Maud one-sided discussion. I guess it was just kind of fun to see Reagan's reaction as I retold the events of the movie.
If only we were recording this so they can see my face.
Yeah, I saw you like take the mic away from your mouth because you were like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like you just had to like think.
Like my jaw dropped like multiple times. But
So everybody out there,
But,
go see it.
But on a lighter note,
we're going to wrap up the program with a small little Q&A section. The introduction, potentially future Q&A segments. So anybody's interested, follow us at coworkers.podcast on Instagram, and we shall throw up posts asking us, hey, you got a question? It could be about entertainment. It could be aimed at either Reagan or I. And it could just kind of like be about anything, really. Just don't stray off the beaten path and ask us like what size jeans we wear or some
Yeah,
random shit like that.
yeah. No weird shit. No weird shit. As it pertains to movies and films and whatnot.
And entertainment as a whole.
Yeah.
We are willing to discuss it.
Yeah.
So, Regan, would you like to start it off?
Yeah, I will start off. This question comes from Dano XDI. He asks, "Who's gonna win, Godzilla or King Kong?" Well, Daniel.
He might need to watch last episode.
Well, Daniel, our answer is go watch episode 4 if you haven't already.
That's our answer. Monkey.
I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to blow our mics.
We're gonna blow out something in here.
All right. Anyways, Josh, you got the next question there?
Oh, this next question comes from one of our coworkers named KJ. He asks, if we had to like sit at a meeting and pitch the plot for Grown Ups 3, what would it be?
Bro, we're gonna go all night with this.
Just hurry, like spitball something.
Okay, you start.
I'm gonna start. Okay, it's like I'm gonna start one train of thought and then you just like respond.
Mind you,
okay?
I haven't seen Grown Ups 2. So.
I don't think I have either.
Oh fuck. Okay, let's do it. Go.
It's a time travel movie.
Okay, and then Adam Sandler has to recruit his friends from when they were kids, but Avengers style.
And then they go back in time to meet the younger versions of themselves.
And then that's when they have a tag team basketball match with the rival team, but they're kids. So it's adults versus kids.
And because they're old, they suffer from like arthritis or something like that. So like for the first like 2/3 of the match, they get like absolutely pummeled by these kids, these old boomers.
But then they realize that,
they need teamwork.
No. That their childhood wasn't as glorious as they thought it'd be. That whole basketball championship wasn't as glorious as they thought it'd be.
And it turns out that they didn't actually win the basketball championship as kids. They've just been hiding it. It's a facade to relive their glory days. And they actually lost horribly. And they don't want to relive that memory.
And then now they're going through this midlife crisis while they're stuck in like 19 whatever the fuck they're in. But then Salma Hayek is wondering where Adam Sandler is. And so Salma Hayek recruits
Maya Rudolph and all the wives.
All the wives, and then they do it Avenger style. They time travel. Josh.
and then okay, hold on.
This is turning out really terrible.
And then they gotta fight a common enemy in a mind-controlled Kevin James.
So now it's the opposing team as kids. The main group of guys as kids, and then Adam Sandler's friends as adults, and then Salma Hayek's friends as adults,
and then them as kids too. Somehow they got introduced, thrown into the mix,
and now they're all standing together as a team, as grown-ups, and they learned how to the older people learn how to be youthful again, and the kids learn how to handle themselves and mature in a sense.
And they defeat the mind-controlled Kevin James by dunking a basketball on him. The end. I hope that sufficed, KJ. That was fucking hard.
I have no idea where the hell that was going. Okay.
All right.
Next question. Oh my fucking god. This next question comes from MC_. Batman versus Iron Man. Who wins?
Okay, let's think about this for a second.
I know my answer. Hands down.
Because they're both essentially humans with a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree. However, like, and I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, but Regan, you're a Marvel fan," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I have an idea.
So fucking what?
I have an idea.
So fucking what?
Know where you're going.
Do you think who do I think is gonna win?
But to create an interesting dialogue, I would say maybe Batman would win.
Okay, you want to know my answer?
What's your answer?
Batman's gonna win.
Fuck. Okay, Iron Man's gonna win.
Oh boy. No, it's just Batman. Yeah, they both have technology, right?
But Batman's also the greatest detective in the world.
Well, that, and he's also really skilled, like with hand combat. And we rarely see that in Iron Man or in Tony Stark.
Yeah.
We get like a hint of it, but like Batman.
But in a vacuum, if they just started fighting, and let's say that Iron Man pulls an Iron Man 3 and he has access to all of his suits like at once, so he could like keep on like using them for different scenarios.
Well, I mean, he has nanotech.
Yeah, and he's got nanotech, and I feel like Batman would have something to like combat it or like counteract.
If anything, he probably has like a batarang that's like
an EMP,
and it'll shut down like all of Tony's suits,
some
shit like that. But yeah, I would say personally, as a Marvel fan, Batman's gonna win.
Yeah, I think Batman gets a 2-0 from us. Okay, how many more questions do you want to do? Because I have one.
I have one more.
Okay.
How are we on time?
We're at 55 minutes.
Oh boy, holy shit. Okay.
Do you want to make this one the last one?
I kind of want to make this because it's from your friend.
Oh, okay. Let's go with that then.
Okay. Cool. And then how do you say her name?
Angelique?
Angelique.
Yeah,
Yeah, Angelique on Instagram. She asked, if you could live in any film's universe, which film would you want to live in and why? We got it.
Does La La Land count or just LA? I'm just kidding.
Let's make it quick and snappy. Let's make this one quick and snappy. I have my answer. I think I have my answer.
A world. Let me go think about this for a second. What's your answer? Since you already have one.
I think it's pretty obvious. The Transformers universe.
Fuck me. Oh my god.
Can you imagine how cool it would be?
We're talking about like Michael Bay Transformers or like animated Transformers?
No, Michael Bay Transformers. Oh my
god.
Can you imagine if my fucking Volkswagen Jetta transformed into a piece of shit? You know what I mean? Like a junk pile of metal, dude.
That would be so tight.
Like imagine if I'm like late for work, right? Even though I live 5 minutes away, I'll be like, oh shit, motherfucking. I don't fucking know what your name is, but transform and get me to fucking work. He'll just like run.
Rebar. His name's Rebar. I don't know.
Rebar.
Some type of fucking piece of metal. I'm actually like looking at my movies as to like what I would want to live in. This is fucking hard. Why am I being put on the spot like this? But the one that caught my eye as I was looking through my collection of movies is a type of heightened reality like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like a melding of like video game and like real life, and just like they just intertwine with one another, and you have like these weird dreamscapes and like just all this crazy shit happening. And maybe when I do meet a girl, like she'll have 7 evil exes I'll have to beat the shit out of, and one of them is Chris Evans, and he'll beat the fuck out of me, and he'll die after a skateboarding accident.
Oh my god, I still haven't seen Scott Pilgrim.
It's so good.
Yeah,
dude. Edgar Wright, bro.
So your answer is Scott Pilgrim? That's the universe you want to live in?
For the time being, yeah. Or maybe like Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, nice. That's a good choice.
Yeah. Okay.
Mine would be like Transformers, just because giant robots are fucking cool.
Oh wait, was it movie specifically?
Yeah, I think it was any film's universe.
Oh shit.
Yeah, any film's universe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with those.
But yeah, Transformers because giant robots, which is cool.
Spider-Man because I love Spider-Man. Not that I'm gonna like be like an iteration of the man behind the mask, but I get to live in a variable frame rate.
Yeah.
I'm rendered in 12 FPS. How cool is that?
Well,
I
hope you guys enjoyed that short Q&A. Hopefully we can do another one with more hard-hitting questions that delve into our psyche.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways, that has been the Coworkers podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram at coworkers.podcast. Please be sure to support our podcast on Anchor, Spotify, and YouTube. And we will see you all next time. I'm Regan.
And I'm Josh.
Later, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.